I know that the recording has been silent for this whole 25 minutes and 15, 16, 17 seconds. The title says this is the karmics handiwork. I will be using these as teaching moments. As I've told you all, I want to intellectually communicate the things that happen in these situations, dealing with those who are practicing abuse of the occult practices, abuse of misuse of hoodoo, voodoo, root work, spiritual, energetic work pertaining to the collective and the collective's children. Okay. So I said that I've been working really hard on my energy so that I can communicate intelligently, but present enough data, information, patterning, which is something I actually excel at, but a lot of trauma victims do. And if you all don't believe me saying that, you're free to do your own investigation on that, okay? People who have been victims of trauma, extended trauma, sometimes become excellent at pattern recognition, okay? It's something that happens to some neurodivergence, things of that nature. So I said that I was going to come on, now that my emotions aren't tempering out, and give you all explanations, but also some cases actual exampleship of what these people do. So I just not long got off on my TikTok platform. It is about 11:18-ish p.m. Central Standard Time now, okay? But this has been about an hour, 30 to 45 minutes ago. So as I got off, those that are above him started doing what they've been doing. They got to going with their noise. But listen, remember I said that some of y'all, some of this noise is not just noise. Some of it is connected to their spell work when they're doing spells. Okay? So, the stomping and the noise is not just being disruptive and disrupting someone's sleep. Okay? Because they get quiet and still do spell work. It's about the energy. So I decided that when I can't do this all the time. I'm not even guided to do it all the time, but I'm able to pattern when my son's energy starts to get affected. A lot of what happens with the autistics is everything gets swept under the rug, that their behaviors, their oddity behaviors is just a part of the autism, and it is not. But it is cleverly hidden, and it's very convenient for these distorted occult practitioners. So when they commenced, I was going to record it. And so I'm going to explain something to you all, why I stayed on the camera and why it was quiet. I'm going to explain to you. They're aware of that, okay? Because these are people who've been practicing distorted work for some time. And the things that they send to my son, or that they have on him, or whatever they do, they're aware of my energy shift, or can see or sense that I'm present and that I'm about to do something. And what they'll do when they can sense that, then they'll go into incognito mode or quiet mode. So my son had started, all of a sudden he got up, he was sitting calmly, doing what he normally does. He was just sitting calmly on the laptop, doing what he normally does. Okay. Then all of a sudden, as these karmics that are above him started um, making the noises with their spells, he then, okay, and listen, the only reason why I'm saying this is not about giving them energy and attention, though I get how that works. I'm really sharing this for those of y'all. I'm going to go on camera with it. I'm going to let you all see it. The only reason why you all couldn't is because they were aware that I did that, and they stopped immediately. Okay. So as soon as they started their stomping and their rituals, my son gets up from sitting down, starts looking up at the sky, starts pacing and walking around, talking, making faces. So he was basically being hijacked and harassed by these entities and these distorted, what you see on this picture, because that's what these holes are. And I don't care if they look as fine as wine, this is what they are. So he kept, he was pacing, he was making like funny faces. He, started chatterboxing, just he'd start pacing, walking in circles, pacing for no reason. You all need to hear this. That's not an episode. That is not an autistic episode. That is not a part. Unfortunately, over the years, that's something that the differently able community maybe have come to accept as is. But that's not. Those are entities and those are distorted witches and warlocks in their energy. Especially when there's nothing that triggered it, okay? Because it all depends. If there's nothing that they were doing sitting that would trigger that, like in other words, they're not playing a video game. I know the difference between when my son is just he's playing certain video games and it goes in and out because he hates losing, and you know what I'm saying, so he's that anger gets stirred up and he starts to flipping out and talking crazy because he on I know the difference between that and then somebody just all of a sudden start to mess with his energy and then he just pops up and starts to do things. I caught the patterns of when these karmics get to making their noises, creeping around upstairs, doing shit. They do it when I go live. When they do it typically when I go live as well. All of a sudden, he starts becoming chatterbox, disruptive. He starts walking and pacing in circles. That's not a part of the autism. His relatives have been doing that, and now all the rest of these whole bags are doing that. That's why he doesn't want to be in his body. That is why he says stuff like when he transfers into somebody's body, because of all of these things that they're continuing to do. It's supposed to make me feel some kind of way, which it's not. It's just serving to do what's being done. To do what's being done, what's long overdue, needing to be done with some of these people. It is helping to escalate it. When they noticed that I stopped. I was calm. See, there was no reaction. I didn't start like chasing him or saying Darrell. Like I didn't start fighting with. I didn't do any of that because that's a feed. That's this thing's way of trying to get energy out of me indirectly by proxy through my son. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna chase. I'm not gonna, because I know what this is. And so I got quiet and I just watched him. I didn't bug him. I didn't say anything. I was saying certain things within in myself, but I didn't bug him. I didn't say anything. I just quietly watched, and I came to pick up my phone and started setting it up because I was going to let you all. I wasn't going to talk. I was going to let you all just see the handiwork. I'm going to put this on public display. I sure am. As I speak intelligently about it, not in an emotional wreck, not in any other, calmly, as I'm guided. As I said, I won't do this often, but when I catch the type of patterns that I'm looking for, and I can intelligently communicate it, I'm sharing it because it's going to help other people at some point someday. Because this is not new. This is something that's been being done not only to him, to many others, to me, and many others like me. This is what these people do. These, I shouldn't even say people, bitch. I don't, shit. I shouldn't even say people because I don't even know. Are they people? Shit. Are they? I don't know. Shit. Maybe not. Hey, maybe not. Um, so this is what's being done, and I'm gonna share it just in case, because I know that a lot of these karmics, they go around pretending like they've changed their lives. To those who know what they were doing, they go about acting like they changed, and they're not. Like they're not into certain stuff no more, and it's a lie. They are. They're still at it. Relatives and all, they're still at it. They're still at it. They not changed. They don't see the light. They're not okay. Well, I won't do the spells on the disabled person no more. I'll stop doing that. That's a lie too. They still are. And the reason why they do that, if you all are wondering, again, it's they get frustrated with they get frustrated first and foremost just with feeling like they're not. Just bear with me. I'll get quiet here and there, because if I can catch, I will. I'm gonna pull on camera if I can catch when they get up to their shit, if I'm able to. Okay. Um. So y'all can see. I want y'all to watch and listen. I'm gonna get silent and let y'all watch and listen for yourself. Okay. So I think these folks get frustrated with this stuff, that because they're doing stuff on me. Okay. I think they get frustrated with it sometimes. Okay. Not giving exactly what they wanted to give. You know what I'm saying? Not entirely producing what it what they wanted to. And I think so they go, that's when they result, in my humble opinion, I think that's when they sometimes result themselves to, well, I'm gonna do this, and so hopefully I can get her an emotional war out of her. I can get a feed off of feeling powerful. I can get, you know, uh, get some loose, get some narcissistic supply, and get her to be um, upset. Maybe I can get her to yell again. Maybe I can get her to yell and come upstairs and knock on the door. They want attention so damn badly. So that's their handiwork, y'all. So all I can tell y'all is, futuristically, I'm gonna try here and there. I'm not gonna be coming on like when they're just making noise. I really can care less about that at this point. Okay. Um, but I'm drawing the pattern. What I'm doing is I'm gonna draw the connection between their noise making and their spells, and how this starts to, as it pertains to the disabled, okay, as it pertains to our children, our offspring, and what they're doing to them. And that's because this is who they are. So they wanted to be known so badly, they are going to be known. They wanted their fame, they have their fame. They wanted people talking about them and mentioning them. They have that. They're going to have that good and plenty. Good and plenty in full and living color. Every ounce of that. But the world is going to get to the, since I'm going to do this in such a manner to help people clearly see it, so then the world is going to see that this is what these people are, it's what they do. And I'm not talking about the world that's in it, on it with them, because they're all a part of it. That's not who we're addressing. The world is going to see that this is what these people are and this is what they do to the differently abled community, because they woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Because they're frustrated that their rituals aren't working in full effect on the honorable feminines. Because they're mad that they're not going to get the full amount of money they wanted. The world, they're going to get every ounce of fame that they absolutely wanted. They wanted it really badly. They have it. They wanted their names mentioned. They wanted attention. They wanted to seem great, big, and powerful. They want, and they're going to get it. But it's not going. It's not. It too is not going to give what they wanted to give in the end. It's going to end up causing them to appear to be truth, the truth of what they are to the world, as abusers, as people who are abusers. Hmm. So stay tuned. I got to get going so I can finish, checking out my son, seeing what's going with him, and keep an eye on that. I'm going to keep the phone handy because I'm just going to be ready at any given moment just to cut the camera on. So if you all see me come on randomly and I'm not talking and I'm not saying anything, it's because, and I got it on mute and all that, is because I'm going on and I'm waiting, engaging so I can see the way he manifests, and then I'm just gonna pop it on because I'm not gonna talk. I don't want to disrupt him. I want to just basically get it caught on camera, without my interference and without me talking and saying anything to him or to y'all. Okay, because that's when you're gonna get the most. If you do it like that, you're gonna get the most authentic assessment of what these people do. Okay. Um, so a lot of people are going to end up seeing these folks as disgusting, not the ones that aren't, like I said, the ones that are not in on the bullshit, the ones that are not equally getting Escalades and Walmart gift cards and shit like that. They're going to start to like look at these people like this. You're disgusting. Like, it's one thing to be mad at a bitch or a dude. It's another thing to be doing that kind of stuff. You're a disgusting person. You're disgusting. And the world needs to know that and take these people off these pedestals.